Website SEO at low cost. Increase the value of your insert website name here. Have you received SEO scam emails like this? Because I certainly have. I work full-time in digital marketing and search engine optimization, and I still get emails like this. So if you're getting these SEO spam emails and wondering, is this stuff too good to be true? Should I be paying attention? Should I be throwing this stuff in the trash immediately and hitting the spam button? Yeah, actually, you probably should. Look, I don't want you to get got by those SEO spammers and scammers. And I also want to help you understand how to look for legit SEO companies and services if you need them. SEO, search engine optimization, is a legit marketing strategy, and it's important to know if you're running a small business. But like any industry, there's a lot of shady characters and bad actors out there. So in this video, I'm going to show you some examples of recent SEO spam and scam emails I've personally received so that you can know what to look out for. And I'll share some tips about what to look for in legit SEO services. Hi, I'm Mallory Whitfield. This is Badass Creatives, your home for marketing, business, and life advice for badass artists, makers, and creative entrepreneurs just like you. So I've actually been receiving a lot of these cold pitch SEO emails lately. Even though I work in full-time digital marketing, I know what I'm doing. I don't need your low-cost services from a rando person on the other side of the world. So you're probably getting some of these as well. If you run a small business on the internet these days, at some point, if you haven't already, you're probably gonna get one of these pitches. And there was actually an article going around recently on a website called The Verge calling SEOs, search engine optimization experts, the people who ruined the internet. Now, I know that there are a lot of smart, helpful, trustworthy SEO professionals in the world because I've worked with plenty of them. But I also know that search engine optimization throughout its history has had the tendency to attract a lot of get-rich-quick kind of scammy spammers. That's just, the world we live in. Every industry has some bad actors. Now, let's hop over to some of the recent emails that I personally have received so you can see actual examples of what this looks like so that you know what to look out for. A lot of these SEO website scammers and spammers tend to use very generic Gmail addresses or similar. You might see some random name with a bunch of numbers at the end at gmail.com. A lot of these examples I've gotten are exactly like this. You'll also notice that they often do not address you specifically by name. These are clearly like copy and paste type of mass sent emails. So I got one that says the headline is increase the value of MalloryWhitfield.com. That's one of my websites, it's my personal website, and says, hi, MalloryWhitfield.com team. Like, you found my website. You couldn't address me by my first name instead of my website name. Like what? Now they're often gonna offer you these like free website analysis or like quick report, and they're gonna tell you that they've already found all of these errors on your website. Like, do you really think that somebody who is just doing speculative work, they're cold email pitching you, right? Like, do you really think that they've actually gone through the time of doing a full SEO audit? Probably not, which by the way, I will talk a little bit more about this in a moment, but real companies, real legitimate companies, one of the first things that they will often do is a full audit of your website, but that takes a lot of time to really do right and do well. And so they're gonna charge you for that. They're not just gonna like for free do a full audit of your website. I'm sorry. So here's another example. In one of these emails, it's signed off as best regards, Joshua Anthony, DM consultant. Like, what is DM consultant? There's no company name on this entire email. It's from a random person's name at gmail.com. There's no legitimate company name or website that they're linking to or anything like that. If it was legit, it would have some of that information. Now, here's another one. It says, website SEO at low cost. This person has actually been very persistent. They keep sending me emails and following up to the emails that I keep ignoring and putting in my trash folder. Again, no company name. They ask if they can send me a low cost packages and price list. So SEO done really well and really right takes a lot of time, right? So it's just like most other things in this world. You have a choice. You can get stuff done really well, you can get stuff done quickly, or you can get stuff done very cheaply, right? You can maybe get two of those things at once, but you're never gonna get all of those things at once, right? So if you want it done really well, it's probably not gonna be the cheapest option. And here again, it's just signed off as business development executive, which means salesperson, but there's no company name. I have no website to look up to see if, who they're working for is legit because It's not legit. So again, a legitimate company like some of the marketing agencies that I've worked for in the past, they would have a real website. They would have maybe case studies, or you could at least see examples of their services. You could probably find Google reviews or Yelp reviews, some sort of reviews to understand that they are legitimate and have legitimately helped customers. With these SEO scam emails, you don't get any of that. Oh, and then the best part is when some of these emails actually go straight into my spam folder, because I use Gmail and G Suite for my business, so it automatically sorts it to my spam folder. But then sometimes in the footer, check this out, they say, note, we are not spammers and we're against spamming of any kind. To opt out of future mailings, just send us a blank reply. Hit reply and send. Like, they want you to reply. So this is a trick, right? Because actually an unsubscribe should have a link to an unsubscribe thing. So if you're doing email marketing, you have to provide an option for people to opt out or unsubscribe. Like, that is part of many of the laws regarding email marketing. A part of, here in the United States, we have CAN spam law, which was created to prevent spam like this. These people are breaking that law, whatever. So they're like, we're not spammers. We're against spam of any type. Like, just because you say a duck is a duck, but it's an elephant, that doesn't make it a duck. It's still an elephant, right? Can you tell I'm a little annoyed by this? So I also show you these examples to pay attention to, like, what are the things that these scammy companies do when they are sending cold pitch emails, to also note, like, what not to do if you ever want to send a legitimate, like, outreach email to someone. So say that you are trying to get press and publicity for your business. Say that you are trying to pitch yourself to be a guest on a podcast or something like that, right? Like, you can legit reach out to people and offer, your idea, your services and things. But when you do that, you need to take the time to make it super, super personal. Make sure that you understand who you are reaching out to, versus this stuff that is clearly just like spray and pray, right? Where we just like send out a ton of messages and just hope that one of them out of the millions that we've sent will somehow like catch a fish, right? Like, what? So if you get emails like this, I encourage you to not reply, to mark it as spam, to delete it, right? Because a number of reasons. So often there are separate companies that are sending out all of these sorts of communications in mass, right? And then they're gonna, if you do reply and show your interest, they're gonna then send you off to a separate company that actually does this like low cost SEO work. That's probably not gonna be very good. You get what you pay for, low cost, low quality usually. So I just encourage you to like hit spam, don't reply, ignore it. Okay, so what do you do if you do need help with your search engine optimization or your website? So I was recently having a conversation with a friend of mine. She was asking for some help for some SEO guidance. She's working on a project with a few friends. They run a podcast and they have a website and they wanted to learn more about SEO. And so one of the members of this group had started reaching out to various companies for quotes. And it sounded like they were reaching out to legitimate companies, right? And she was basically asking me kind of like, do these prices make sense? Kind of just tips about what to do, what to look for. So I will say, yes, there are lots of legitimate search engine optimization companies and experts out there. And sometimes it can be totally worth it to pay one of those experts to help you set things up and make sure that everything is set up correctly and everything's working, and to just like not have to do it yourself if you're not that expert. That said, SEO done well isn't usually cheap. Some of the prices that my friend was quoting me were things like $7,500, $15,000, right? And those sound like very big numbers. And at the same time, those can be possibly very legitimate businesses. She didn't connect me with the names of any of those businesses, so I didn't have a chance to look at them further. But what I suggested to her is that before you ever try to pay somebody else, whether it's an SEO expert or whatever, have at least a basic understanding of the thing that you're paying them for. So I like to use the analogy of bookkeeping and accounting when it comes to running your business and how that compares to marketing, right? So if you're running a business, you should have some basic understanding of your bookkeeping, of your numbers, of your profit, and how much your expenses are and how much money is coming into your business. If you don't pay attention to any of your business numbers and you simply are like, I'm just gonna ignore this, I'm gonna turn it over to the expert, and you pay a bookkeeper or an accountant, yeah, they might do it right, but you also are leaving yourself open to the chance that they either through negligence or, they just don't know what they're doing, or through malicious intent could, mess you up, screw you over. And I think it's very similar when it comes to marketing your business, especially when it comes to things like SEO, where there are a lot of, quite frankly, sketchy people who try to take advantage of the lack of knowledge that so many people have around search engine optimization. There can be a lot of very technical, complicated parts of SEO. However, there are a lot of things that can be very simple and easy for almost anybody to learn and do if you really want. I have a full playlist here on YouTube called SEO for Beginners, where I explain a lot of the basics. And a lot of the basics are just this. Use words to describe things about your business or products or services, right? Use actual written language throughout your website in your page titles, in your page content, create transcripts and captions if you're including video content, things like that. Just include actual written language throughout your website that matches what people would be searching for if they're trying to find your product or service. It kind of boils down to that. Okay, so after you understand the basics and have done at least a little bit of the basics to your own website, trying to include some of those words and phrases that people might be searching for, once you've done all of that and you do want to try to find somebody to help you with search engine optimization, look for legitimate companies. These are often either individual experts or agencies. I always recommend do your research. Check out their website, check out any Google reviews, Yelp reviews, any other review sites, both on their website if they are showing them there and off. A lot of times when you do a Google search for one of these companies, you'll see their Google reviews. So for example, here in New Orleans, when I first started my digital marketing career, when I was making my transition from doing craft shows to working in marketing full time, I started working at an agency called FSC Interactive, and they're still around and they do great work. So when I search for FSC Interactive on Google, I can find their website. I can also find their Google reviews. And you can also check things like LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. for other review sources. Another company here in New Orleans that I would trust and recommend to somebody local is called Online Optimism. And similarly, if you search them online, you see all of their Google reviews. If you go to the SEO page of their website, of their services page, you'll also see reviews that they've embedded from some of their best customers, right? So they have this testimonial from somebody who was the director of marketing at the local Ogden Museum of Southern Art, saying how great they were with helping them incorporate SEO into their current content strategy. Now, one of the other things you'll want to look out for is, are they setting realistic expectations? Or are they offering these get rich quick, get results fast, low cost sort of scams? Now, one of the things that's important to note about search engine optimization is that it takes time. Even if you hire a company to come in and completely do all of the keywords and all of the technical SEO on the back end of your website, it still will take time for Google and the other search engines to actually crawl your website, index all of those changes, and then put that back into their search algorithms to shift where you're showing up in the search results. That can often take a few months, right? So anybody who's offering you like an immediate turnaround or some sort of fast results is probably a scammer. Now, the other thing I would suggest to look for is customized strategies and probably some sort of audit as a first step. The shadier SEO companies are probably going to offer you a very templated sort of like, here's our checklist of things that we'll do for your site, without even looking to see whether you've done any of that or whether you need any of it. Now, when I worked at FSC Interactive, the agency, one of the first things that we would do with any sort of SEO client was we would do an audit strategy. And I was often heavily involved in doing those myself. Now, this audit strategy was usually a first step. The company or business would pay us to do this audit strategy. That in and of itself would be a service or a package. So we would do this audit strategy. I would review all of these different aspects of the company's website, look at things from a customer's perspective on the front end of the website, look at things on the back end of the website, the kind of technical things that Google and other search engines pay attention to. We would do all sorts of things like run page speed tests, which you can actually do for free using some free tools like Google's page speed test. This is to see like how fast your website loads, because a lot of times these are the sort of technical issues that can actually have a lot of quick fixes. Things like just compressing and resizing and optimizing the size of your images, right? We don't want giant images on our website because it takes forever to load. Now, a really good, thoughtful marketing company might also even give you other recommendations during this audit strategy. For example, I remember doing a search engine optimization audit for a company who had a very, very specific target audience and clientele. And the type of audience they had wasn't necessarily searching online for that service, right? This is the kind of thing where they actually would have much better success going out and developing relationships and reaching out directly to their ideal clients and customers, because it was such a specific small niche that these people weren't necessarily searching for this service at all, right? And so that was one of the things that I found, and that was one of the things that I included and sort of elaborated more in my recommendations to them. So if you're working with a really thoughtful, strategic marketing company, they're gonna be looking out for those sorts of things, hopefully. They're gonna be really understanding what your business is, what you're trying to achieve with your website, right? Like what you're optimizing it for, because different types of companies with different types of clients have different goals for their website, right? So search engine optimization is not just one size fits all. Like anything, nothing is like one size fits all. So I'd love to know in the comments below, let me know, have you ever received one of these types of SEO scam emails? What happened? Did you respond? Did you put it in the trash immediately? Did you reply? Like what happened? If you want to learn more about SEO, check out my entire YouTube playlist, SEO for Beginners. And if you want to dive even deeper, if you need this kind of support where you can show me things and I can help you very specifically with your unique individual business, because things are not one size fits all. If you want that kind of support, check out my program, the Badass Creatives Marketing Accelerator. It is a mentorship and community for badass creative entrepreneurs and makers and multi-passionate artists. So head over to badasscreatives.com, check that out. And in the meantime, stay tuned because I will be making more videos here on YouTube. So stay subscribed and like and comment, and I love that. Thanks. Bye.